Hey team, welcome to this week's drawing challenge. Now, for the first time ever since this year, we are going to split this drawing into 2 weeks because it's quite time consuming, but I honestly think it's worth it. So we're looking into Charles Bargue a little bit bigger, and we're going to draw a leg using the measuring stick to make sure everything is exactly where it should be. Now, we've practiced this last week with the eye, and we're going to do it again with something much bigger and probably with a lot more pressure on it because it's a really big shape. So you'll need to print out the drawing this week because you need to measure directly from the paper. So see if you've got any friends that have a printer or whether you can sneak one out at work, a printout that is. And let's begin. So grab your pencils and let's get started. To hold the stick, you want to kind of pinch the end and use your thumb as a guide to show you where the line stops. And then you'll pinch it with all your fingers and try and make sure it doesn't slip out your hand. Now, when you've got to grips with how to hold it, you'll take the first measurement of that vertical line on your picture. Then you're going to grip it very, very tight and transfer it across to your paper. So it might slip, it might wobble, but try really hard to do this. And if you need to switch hands, maybe measure with your right hand, make a mark with your left hand, feel free to do so as well. Once you've done that, you'll figure out the length of the line towards that center where it crosses, and then you'll measure the right side, take that across, and then the left side, take that across, and try and draw a straight line using your stick, and you should have the exact measurements of the cross that's on the picture of the leg. Now, this is what we call the construction line. This is the anchor that we always refer to when we're measuring from it. So from now on, you're only going to be measuring from your cross, from the center to the outside, from the horizontal line to up to down, and then that's going to help you with your drawing. So bear that in mind as we move forward with the measuring stage. Once you've got that, you're going to really take your time. You're going to transfer the marks where they cross this axis. So anything that cuts through the line you just drawn, you're going to measure and you're going to work your way up the vertical line. Sometimes you might get a bit bored if you're anything like me, and you might be like, ooh, why don't I just take one of the wings and measure the distance there? But you also might be very logical and very smart and just work your way up. So you'll see it's quite time consuming, but it just means it's going to be a super, super accurate drawing because you've measured it. So really, it can't go wrong. Just make sure that your measurements are accurate. And if you need to double check, maybe you go back to it again and measure it again, then that is absolutely fine. In fact, I encourage that behavior. You might be wondering if you get confused by all of these dashes. And if you just looked at it at a glance, then yes, you would be quite confused. But when you come to doing the outline, actually it makes a lot of sense. You start with the bottom line and then you draw the next one and then you're like, oh, okay, now I know where I am. Now, what I would also encourage is for us to get the measurements for any turn of angle. So you'll see that for the base, for example, I am just getting the left and the right, and then I'm actually joining these lines up. So you see I'm building my way up there. I'm just taking baby steps and getting the measurements and then crawling my way up the picture. My camera is about to run out of battery, so I accidentally skipped the foot part, but you'll see exactly my process for the next part. So you can see that I'm finding the horizontal measurement from the vertical line, and then I'm finding the vertical measurement from the horizontal line. So every time there's a change in direction, and it might be a subtle change, I'm measuring down and I'm measuring across. So maybe just watch for a second to understand fully what I'm talking about, and you can see all the examples at every single point. I'm going back to my construction lines, which are this big cross in the middle. It's a really great method, and it's something that we have looked at before, but we've kind of looked at it in different ways. So this is combining quite a few skills that we have previously been working on. So follow your way around the drawing now, keep measuring, and that is going to create an awesome, accurate outline. And it's also going to help you to draw the angles of each section in the right way. Otherwise, we'll just guess them and they'll be going everywhere and making our proportions very, very wrong. Now, I don't think I have enough followers to be able to link this directly, but in the comments, you can support me for just £3 a month on Patreon and get more content and just support starving artists. So very, very good job on stage one, folks. It should have taken you a fair bit of time just to get your outline. And then next week, I'm going to show you how to shade it beautifully. Or if you want to do it this week, by all means you can, but I imagine you might have stuff to do. Or maybe you've got time to do it, which I absolutely love. All right, folks, I'll see you next week for stage 2 of this drawing.